Hey vinyl community, I wanted to jump on a thread today, and this is one I had kind of avoided, not because I didn't think it was a good thread, it's just I didn't think I had anything to contribute, and this is Ron Haggerty's Show Us 5 punk rock albums. I'm always telling Chris Prophy, I need to get more into punk rock. I need to get into the Minutemen and Black Flag and the Misfits and Danzig and all those great bands that I'm always seeing him post albums about on his episodes. But as I thought about it more, I actually realized I do have some punk rock albums in my collection. So I'm going to jump on in and be a part of this thread because I don't want to miss out. So the first punk rock album I've got, this is Men at Work, Business as Usual. Men at Work were a band that came out in the early 80s, and they really burst onto the scene. They only had 2 albums, unfortunately, because they were so punk rock that just all that aggression, they couldn't harness it within the band, and they just had to go their separate ways. Kind of how the Clash broke up. Men at Work are a lot like if you like the Clash, you'll probably like Men at Work. Who Can It Be Now is the opening track on here, and it is just so like in your face punk. Like, who is it? Who's at my door? I'm gonna punch whoever it is and leave me alone. Like, I'm so angry at society, and society has just brought me to a place where I've got all this rage. Who's at my door? Leave me alone. I mean, it's just there's so much rage in that song alone. It's just, it makes you wanna hit somebody or punch a wall or just like scream. And then there's a song on here, it's called Be Good Johnny, and it's kind of a twist. It's a punk twist on the Chuck Berry Johnny Be Good song, and it's about a punker, a punk guy who, you know, I want to throw a rock through a window. I mean, he's just rebellious. He's constantly at odds with society. He's not going to conform to society's rules, and if you make him, he's going to punch somebody or break something or cause discord. So it's a lot of the themes on here are extremely punkish. It just fills me with rebellion. Like, I want to go do something, like go in the, I don't know, if I've got 20 items, I want to go on the line that says 15 items or less, kind of a thing, you know, just to sort of like push back at the man. Even the cover is like so punk. You got like the amplifier here, and it's just like, rah! So anyway, definitely, if you're a punk fan, check out that one because it is awesome. Another punk album is Billy Joel. He's got the leather jacket here. He's throwing a rock like at a window, like, I've got all this anger and resentment and rage, and it's probably like he's a poor guy, and he's walking through, you know, a rich neighborhood, and he just sees how unfair the social the discrepancy between the lower class and upper class, and he's going to throw a brick through, or a rock through a window. I mean, is there anything more punk than that? And even the first song, You May Be Right, there's actually, at the beginning of it, it's this like crash, like a brick or a rock going through a window. And it's just talking about like, you may be right, but I'm crazy, I'm punk, and I'm not going to conform to your rules of what I should be. I mean, even the back, like, look at that. Like, is there anything more punk than broken glass? And he's standing there through it, like, go ahead. I mean, he's got a suit on, but it's just like, I dare you to say something about this glass that I just broke, because I will just try something, because I am ready to punch you or break something. It's Still Rock and Roll is talking about how, you know, the early rock and roll was just so very punk and so in your face and had so much attitude. There's a song on here called Don't Ask Me Why, which has a very punk attitude. Don't ask me why. Stop asking me all your questions and stop asking me to be who you want me to be. Stop asking me why I do the things I do. Just go away. Just leave me alone, because I am tired of it all and I am not going to put up with it anymore. So this is definitely an album. If it's not part of your punk collection, it really ought to be. It really is a punk masterpiece, in my opinion. The next one I'm going to show, this is a very punk album. Elton John is not somebody you think of when the word punk rock comes to mind, but this actually is a very surprisingly punk album. It's called Leather Jackets, and if you're into punk, you wear leather jackets, which I don't have a leather jacket, but I would own one and I would wear it if I did have one. But this is very punk. And on the back, I mean, there's just so much attitude, so much rebellion, so much let's toss off the chains of society. Well, Elton John just got this look like, sod off, you wanker. I mean, motorcycles, punk rock, people that play punk rock and listen to punk rock, own motorcycles or like motorcycles. And so when I just look at this photograph, I just instantly feel like a badass. Don't start anything with me. Don't come over here and get in my face, because I'll break this bottle and I'll crack it over your head. It's kind of the vibe that I get from the back of this album. You know, the first song is called Leather Jackets, which is very punk. Don't Trust That Woman, which has got a lot of attitude, a lot of the whole punk spirit behind it. I Fall Apart is a very punk kind of like, I just have so much anger and rage right now that I just totally fall apart. I haven't listened to this in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's punk. Fine Young Cannibals is a punk band. They were on the scene in the early 80s, and they only had 2 albums because they were too punk to have any more than that. But the first track on here is She Drives Me Crazy, which is just, you know, I'm crazy, I can't take it anymore, and I want to do something about it. I want to go out, I want to start a riot, I want to just be angry and break things. I'm not the man I used to be. I used to not be punk, but now I'm very punk. Even though the name of the band, like Fine Young Cannibals, like how much more punk does it get than that? Like, you are so punk, you are going to eat another person's flesh. That's how punk you are. I'm not satisfied. I'm never satisfied, because if I were satisfied, that wouldn't be very punk, but I am punk, so I can't be satisfied. That's really almost like a punk manifesto, I guess, as you will, which I love. Ever Fallen in Love, because falling in love is not very punkish. And I think that was actually a Buzzcocks cover, and the Buzzcocks were very punk. So FYC, as they like to be called, because it sounds more punk that way, but FYC is definitely a band, if you're into punk rock, that you should check out. And then the last punk album that I'm going to pick is Phil Collins. Hello, I Must Be Going. Hello, I Must... He can't even look you in the eye. That's how angry he is and how punk he is. Like, most people on their album covers, they're going to look straight at you, but like, no, I am looking off to this. I can't even look at you. That's how disgusted I am with you and society and the conformity that you represent. But the opening track on here, I Don't Care Anymore, is so punk. It's like, I don't care what rules you want to put on me, what you want me to conform to. I don't care anymore. I am just going to sit in my room and listen to punk records and ignore all you people that are square and not down with anarchy. Do you know? Do you care? Do you know what society is doing to you, how society is screwing you over every day, and how government is so corrupt? Do you know? Do you care? I mean, has there ever been a more punk title than that? It Don't Matter to Me on side 2 has just got that attitude about punk. Like, get out of my face, will you? Just, it don't matter to me. I am going to do what I want to do. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to wear leather and ride my motorcycle. And if I want to go out and do something I'm not supposed to do, I don't know what that would be. The West Side, which is always a punk. Any city that has a large contingency of punk rockers or just a general punk attitude, it's always the West Side that gives you problems. There's always more crime, I think, on the West Side, and I think that's where he's going with this one. Like, I'm from the West Side, I'm on the wrong side of the tracks, kind of an attitude. But I love this album because it is so very punk. Phil Collins, definitely, I'm down with this punk attitude. So you know, it's not Black Flag, it's not the Minutemen, it's not, you know, the Misfits, it's not Butthole Surfers, whatever, it's not the Dead Kennedys, but I stand by these albums as excellent examples of punk rock and definitely worth checking out. So I'm so excited I did get to be a part of this thread. And just want to say to everybody, thanks again for watching and take care.